Hello again and welcome back. Let's kickstart this series with the tale of Madhu and Kaitabh. Now, Madhu and Kaitabh are told to be two of the most powerful demons to have ever come into existence. In fact, they are considered so strong that they are told to be at par with the Trimurti. This happens after a Mahapralaya, and Vishnu is lying down on the serpent Anantashesh, who is floating on the infinite ocean called Ekarnava. As Vishnu is sleeping, out of his navel grows a beautiful lotus flower, and in that lotus, Brahma is born. He examines his surroundings and he sees the infinite ocean on all directions, and he tries to figure out his purpose because he himself is unaware of where he is. So he sits in meditation contemplating on his own purpose. As he meditates, the four Vedas emerge from his thoughts. But at the same time, when Brahma is contemplating, two demons were born from the dirt that oozed from Vishnu's ears. One is called Madhu because he's driven by an insatiable thirst for honey, and the other is called Kaitab because he resembles a bug. Now the two demons explore their surroundings and come upon a mantra, and it is the mantra of Adi Shakti. They start meditating upon this mantra. Their meditation is so fervent that Adi Shakti appears and offers them a boon. So the boon that these demons ask of her is that death would come to them only by their own consent. Empowered by this boon, they venture forth, they consider themselves to be the masters of the universe until they come upon this beautiful lotus and they challenge Brahma. Brahma is powerless, he is not a fighter, and he's unable to defeat these two demons. He doesn't even try, so he lets go and he leaves, but the demons keep chasing him, and he needs to find a refuge, and this is when he comes upon Vishnu, who is sleeping. So Brahma tries to wake him up, but Vishnu is in a state of yoga nidra. The Brahma is unable to stir Vishnu out of his sleep. So he invokes Nidra Devi, and Nidra Devi eventually releases Vishnu from her grasp. Vishnu is released, he takes up his weapons and challenges Madhu and Kaitabh. Their battle is colossal, and it's told to be one of the biggest battles ever fought. It lasts for an unimaginably long time because Madhu and Kaitabh have a very cunning strategy. They don't fight together. They are powerful enough to fight Vishnu one at a time. So when Madhu will come, Kaitab will rest, and when Kaitab will come, Madhu will rest. And after a prolonged period, Vishnu starts to get weary and he gets exhausted, and he tells them that this seems to be like an unfair fight because although you guys are taking time to rest, I'm not getting any time to rest. And if we have to fight as equals, I also need time to rest because even if you defeat me now, you will not be able to prove that you were the most powerful because I haven't rested and I am not at my full strength. Now, their ego, Madhu and Kaitab have quite an inflated ego. So they give in. They say, yes, sure, have your time to rest. And Vishnu withdraws from the battle. Now, what he does is instead of just going to sleep, he enters deep meditation and invokes Adi Shakti. This is when he learns she has given them the boon, and that's the reason Vishnu has been unable to defeat them. So when he learns about the boon that they can only be defeated by their own consent, he enters back onto the battlefield. But this time he changes his strategy. Instead of fighting with weapons, he starts fighting with words. He starts to praise the two demons. He says to them, I'm so pleased with your valor. At this point, what happens is Madhu and Kaitab are so inflated in their own egos that they say to Vishnu, who are you to give us a boon? You have been unable to defeat us, and it is us who should be offering you the boon. So ask away, what would you have from us? And this is the only thing that Vishnu has been waiting for. He says to them, I only ask for your consent to slay you. Madhu and Kaitab are kind of stumped and outwitted. They scramble to kind of salvage their situation. So they look around themselves and they see that they are covered by this ocean in all directions. They are covered by water in all directions. So they say to Vishnu that yes, you may kill us, but only where there is no water. Vishnu agrees, and then he starts to grow in size, and he grows so immense that the waters recede under his ankle. And he proceeds to place both Madhu and Kaitab on either of his thighs, and then using the Sudarshan Chakra, slays them. What happens after that is he gives Brahma the fat from their bodies and asks Brahma to create earth from it. So Brahma creates the earth from the fat of Madhu and Kaitab, and that's why earth is called, given the name Medani, because she's made out of the marrow of Madhu and Kaitab. Now, if you hear this story, you'll find multiple loopholes in this narrative. The first one was the attitude of Madhu and Kaitab. They seem to be carrying this massive superiority complex. Yet, when they first encounter each other, they don't fight, they collaborate. But instinctively, if you see, if they encountered each other and they both had this crazy superiority complex, they should have fought each other. But they don't. They only go into this fight mode when they see Brahma. Then the second thing was the boon that these demons ask of Devi. These two demons, Madhu and Kaitab, are amongst the primary creations, and they haven't really witnessed death. But when the Devi offers them a boon, they ask for a boon which says that death would only come to them with their own consent. How did they get the concept of death? They haven't seen death. The earth is made from their marrow. The earth is with the place where birth and death are prevalent. Then there is a question of honey, craving for honey. Why does Madhu crave for honey? Again, because there is no earth, there are no honeybees. There should not be a concept of honey in the first place. And same thing with Kaitab. He shouldn't actually be resembled to a bug. It kind of stumped me in the beginning, but when I started looking at these things from an allegorical perspective, when you put the maxim of Vishnu being the conscious mind and Devi being the quantum field, something obtruse appears. So, adding to the maxim is comparison of Brahma with manifest reality. Instead of looking at him as just the creator, I'm looking at him as also the created. The birth of Madhu and Kaitab also has great significance because the way they are born from the dirt of Vishnu's ears, if Vishnu is consciousness, what is the dirt from Vishnu's ears? The impurities of consciousness, the impurities that the consciousness absorbs from the external world, is what these demons kind of represent. Madhu, whose name means honey. He craves so much for honey that he becomes honey. To me, that is a personification of desire. And from the other ear emerges Kaitab. So now Kaitab is derived from Kitaka, which is a bug. A bug represents worry or doubt. Together, these demons personify uh, the prominent adversaries of manifest reality, which is desire and doubt. These demons confront and overthrow Brahma. This act symbolizes how unchecked desire and unreasonable doubt overpowers our manifest reality. When Brahma seeks Vishnu's aid, he finds Vishnu in a state of slumber. Even after waking up and actively engaging in battle with Madhu and Kaitab, Vishnu is unable to defeat them. Their battle lasts for eons. Vishnu, who is the most powerful being, the and he is not even an avatar, he is in his element, he is the Maha-Vishnu that is fighting these demons, and he is unable to defeat these demons. So they are kind of a big deal, and the battle goes on for eternity because of the strategy. Now this is very, very important because they take turns. They're not fighting together. And if you will think about yourself, you will know that desire and doubt never come at the same time. They always take turns. Desire comes, doubt comes. Desire comes, doubt comes. This battle is never ending. It takes eons, it takes thousands of years. What does it say? This says that this is not even a work of a lifetime. This is the work of multiple lifetimes. This is where Vishnu or consciousness must realize that opposition to these elements is not the way to overcome them. So, in essence, the consciousness is fighting on two fronts. On one front, there is this craving, this desire to have things, to want things, to do things. And on the other spectrum is doubt, worry, limiting beliefs, all of those things. This aspect is very reflective of our psychological landscape. When Vishnu grows weary, he disengages from the battle. He requests the demon that this is not a fair fight and I also need time to rest. And they allow him time to rest. But what Vishnu does instead of resting is he enters meditation. And in the meditation, he taps into the knowledge from Adi Shakti. This act denotes letting go of resistance. True liberation lies in the act of letting go, in the act of disengaging from the everyday desires and doubts. So what Vishnu does later when he learns from Adi Shakti about the boon is he enters the battlefield, but he doesn't fight with weapons. He fights with sweet words. He praises Madhu and Kaitab. He extols their valor, and he even offers them a boon. So the act of Vishnu praising Madhu and Kaitab is what is understood in the modern mystical circles as affirmations. By praising the demons, Vishnu shifts the focus away from the conflict. Just like affirmations bypass the limiting beliefs, Vishnu's aggrandization of Madhu and Kaitab bypasses their vigilance, and this is when they are tricked into granting a fatal boon. And when they do, and when Vishnu asks for permission to slay them, they're kind of left stumped. They don't know what to do. They have to say yes. And in order to do that, they craft a counter condition based on their surroundings. They tell him that yes, Vishnu can kill them, but only in a place where there is no water. To this, Vishnu doesn't respond with words, but he responds with action. He simply grows and grows and grows to such a colossal size that the eternal ocean recedes under his ankles. And this act symbolizes the transcendence of consciousness over the perceived limitations and outgrowing the conditions imposed by the external world. So, consciousness must expand to an extent that it surpasses the limiting beliefs. In a way, this story shows us the primary enemies of manifestation. Not just shows us, it walks us through the process of how limiting beliefs are formed, how desire and doubt assail the mind, and what can be done to counter these demonic problems. It guides us with the process of meditation. It gives us a step by step process of meditation. If you found the story at the right time, let it drift further on the infinite ocean of the internet. A like, a share, a few words, even if they're rough around the edges in the comments, it'll help in a big way to let the algorithm know that this can be spread further. So that's it from me for now. Thank you very much. Namaste.